Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the MAGG Show. That's right, it's another edition of the MAGG Show where you're going to get it raw, uncut, unedited, unrehearsed, not written down, and certainly from the heart and from the head. So anyways, let's get into the topic tonight. I want to talk to you about Xbox's third-party plans and the history of where this started and how this came to be and where we are today. Now, from my perspective, from my history of this, I started getting wind of this around November of 2023. I started hearing about it. And then I started getting more and more news from people inside the Xbox camp and Microsoft camp that this was the plan moving forward. Now, when I started leaking it slowly in January of 2024, some people lost their minds. Some people were like, well, that makes sense. And then, then came all the hullabaloo, the media stuff, the craziness, the blocking, the threats, the this, the that, and all that nonsense. But guess what? In the end, fast forward to now, January 2025, and Phil Spencer just had his interview and pretty much confirmed everything that we've said. Now, you have to understand something, and this is something I tried to tell all the people that blocked me and whatever else, is that it ain't happening tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, when I started reporting in January, doesn't mean that it was going to happen the next day, that everybody was going to get Halo and this and that or whatever. It takes time. These projects, and especially what they're doing now, this is a huge business move for them that's going to change the trajectory of their business moving forward. It's going to accentuate what they're already doing, and it's going to make them more money, because at the end of the day, it's all about making money. That's what they're trying to do. Now, let's go into this story and into this situation and to why. What the original plan was that Game Pass was going to be the service that would bring people into the Xbox store, because at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is get people into the Xbox store. They don't care about anything else, right? They care about the store. It's just like, for example, if you want to think about it this way, Amazon doesn't care about Amazon Prime. They really don't. I mean, like the television part of it, not the shopping part of it. The shopping part of it is where they want you to go, right? So hear me out. Do you think that Bezos cares about Reacher Season 3? No. Or they spent $500 million on the Rings of Power? No, they don't care about that. What they care about is that you're subscribed to Amazon Prime. Yes, you could use it as an incentive. They're like, oh, I want to watch that show. I want to watch Landman or Yellowstone or Tulsa King or whatever. And these are all vanity projects. Now, the people making them have the passion for the project, obviously. But I'm saying from the top brass of Amazon, their point is that they're trying to get you into the Amazon, subscribe to Amazon Prime. Because guess what? While you're watching Tulsa King and you get a hole in your sock, you're going to go to Amazon Prime to buy a new pair of socks, because you're already there and you're already part of the system, right? And you're already subscribed. And that is what they wanted you to do. Now let's move back to Game Pass. And that was the point of Game Pass. They wanted to grow it like Netflix or whatever else. We get it. But the initial plan, well, not the initial, the entire plan was to get people into Game Pass, stay into Game Pass, stay subscribed. But while you're doing that, it gets you into the Xbox store, which is where they make all their money. Okay, that's where they make the majority of their money. So now if you look at things like microtransactions, skins, V-Bucks, shark cards, all of that makes them hundreds, if not billions of dollars. Okay, all these companies, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and that is where they make their money, and that's what they wanted you to do. That's where they wanted you to go. Now, it hasn't gone quite the way they wanted, all right? They don't have the numbers that they wanted, so guess what? That's when they started doing what they're doing with this new business plan. And they're like, well, you know what? We can't seem to get these people over into our ecosystem. Now they've offered it everywhere, right? You've got, Xbox on your TV. I got Xbox on my new PC monitor that I got. I don't even need an Xbox anymore. I can just stream right off the monitor, but I still do. But anyway, the point is that they've opened up the opportunities for more people to join into the ecosystem. Fine, we get it. But now they've reached another part, and they're like, okay, well, you know what? There are people who are just stuck in another ecosystem, PlayStation or Nintendo, and they're there. Their friends are there. Their libraries are there. You know what I mean? All of that stuff is there. And they have no intention of moving. So that's when the brass said, okay, guess what? We're going to continue to acquire these large publishers, and we're going to grow ourselves like Tencent and become a huge global publisher for video games. And that is exactly what they did. And then as soon as this all changed when ABK was put on the table. Because when they put ABK on the table, not Bethesda and everything else, and ZeniMax, those were small potatoes compared to ABK. ABK is what changed the game, right? And so what happened is that from that point is that now you've got people, now you've got owning all these properties. Now you've got people that are on the other ecosystems are going to pay you, not you, Microsoft. 70% of the sales go to the publisher. So now they're like, okay, well, you know what? We've got people in Game Pass. We got people in the Xbox store. We've got people playing on other devices. Fine. Not enough. Well, let's bring the party to them. If they're not coming to our party, we're going to bring the party to them. And that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly what they're going to continue to do. And so they're going to get that 70% publisher fee for every time a game sells on PlayStation. They're not going to bring every single game that Xbox has ever made. I've discussed that on XNC with Colt Eastwood. We've talked about that. They're going to bring the games that sell incredibly well. And of course, all future games that are coming out, the big bangers, they're all going to go over there. Okay, I've already told everybody before that Gears Z-Day and Halo and everything else, they're all being co-developed for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Pro, and some of them for the Switch too. And, depending on how demanding the game is. Now, the point of all of that as well is that you increase the player base, right? As well as, of course, the 70% sales that you get. Like, look at, for example, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, 80-something percent. I don't have the exact number in front of me. 80-something% of the sales of Call of Duty were on PlayStation. Microsoft got 70% of every single one of those sales. Do you think they're unhappy about that? No. They didn't have to do a damn thing. They're just collecting cash. They're collecting huge mountains of cash, and that is exactly what they want to continue to do. Now, the thing that I think, personally, my personal opinion, is that the big games that are going to do incredibly well, Forza, that's coming very soon. You've got the Halo Master Chief Collection. Of course, future Halo games will be coming out on PlayStation and maybe the Switch too, depending on how demanding it is. Gears of War, Marcus Phoenix Collection, Gears of War E-Day. Those games are all going to PlayStation day and date. Right? They're going to go over there. And why? Because I think, my personal feeling, is if I were running that, if I were running the Xbox gaming department, I 100% would know that I think Gears and I think that Forza will do incredibly well on PlayStation. Forza has a great history, have a long history, but guess what? So do PlayStation fans with Gran Turismo. And I think that and there's a huge player base over there. And I think a lot of people would be like, you know what? I'm going to give this Forza a shot because a lot of people talk about it, and it's a fantastic racing game, right? Other games like Fable and everything, I think they're going to do incredibly well over there. And those are big banger games. And you know what? It benefits PlayStation as well. PlayStation doesn't have to make anything. They just have to sell the game on their store, and then people will come and buy it and whatever, and that keeps them in their ecosystem, right? And this is what it all boils down to. It all boils down to how you get people to stay in an ecosystem and shopping in your store. But at the end of the day, if you will not get that percentage of people that refuse to come over, guess what? You just send the games over there and you make 70% off of them anyway. So either way, it's a win-win-win-win-win for the Microsoft gaming department, right? And the Xbox gaming department. I just kind of call it Microsoft gaming department. It's much easier. And that is it. Look at people. People Can Fly are now co-developing. Well, not now. They were co-developing on Gears E-Day for quite a while. Why? Coalition doesn't need help releasing a game on Xbox because they're co-developing it for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. They need some help with some other teams in order to get get that out in a timely manner. That is why. So this shouldn't be a shock to anybody as to where this is all going. Now the thing is, I've said this a million times ad nauseum about this entire story, but I thought I'd lay it straight now that Phil has come out and pretty much told everybody verbatim that this is exactly what's happening. So there shouldn't be any more surprises. And there's one thing the legacy media really bothers me. You know what? Shout out to IGN though. IGN actually gave me the credit for the scoop when I dropped it last year. IGN, can you imagine that? IGN was the only one. The rest of them did not. You know what they did? They actually said things about me. They said I wasn't reliable and this and that, whatever. Left me and hung me out to dry. But guess what? All of a sudden, those are the same people now that are going, breaking news, and they're looking for their clicks and views and whatever else. Right? I have no respect for that whatsoever. I'm not saying that I need the scoop and this and that. I really don't. Okay, I really don't need it for pride or for any other reason. I'm just saying, we saw this there. I just can't stand the fact that now a year later, a year plus later, I keep seeing breaking news. I'm like, listen, everybody already knows that this is what's happening. I've told you now the business plan as to why it's happening. And I think it should be self-explanatory at this point that there should be no surprises moving forward. I don't understand how there's going to be big breaking news when Fable comes there, the day and date, or Elder Scrolls 6, or Perfect Dark, or the next Halo. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And if you watch me and if you watch Colt and what we've been talking about on the other channel, on Colt Eastwood's channel, and now on this channel, you are now well-informed people that know exactly what's going on, why they're doing it, and how, by the way, and another thing, just to ease people's minds, at least on the Xbox side of things, PlayStation fans can do whatever they want. They can go buy the games, have fun with it. I'll buy games on PlayStation as well. I have no problem. If Doom the Dark Ages is an incredible game, I'm going to buy it again on the PlayStation 5 Pro so I can game share with my wife. Why not? And I can play it on Game Pass at the same time. It's all about options and all about what I want to do, and it's about gaming at the end of the day. So that's what I want to leave it with, is that Xbox fans have nothing to worry about. Your games are not disappearing. They're not taking them away from you. You're still going to get them in Game Pass if you're subscribed. You could purchase them if you feel like. You could do whatever you want. Phil said it right there in the interview. He doesn't care how you consume the product. He just wants you to consume the product. As long as it's, from our end, it has to be quality. That is number one, and that will always be number one in my books and the MAGG's books, and it should be in your books too. That quality should trump everything else before options. Anyways, I just wanted to leave you with that. And everybody, please share, like, subscribe. Tell your friends. I'm going to drop another video tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about God of War in Egypt. Why not? We're going to do that, and I'll also be streaming tomorrow night. I'll be streaming with my wife tomorrow night till death do us part. Part 2 of Space Marine 2. We're going to be doing that tomorrow night. So everybody, have yourself a great day, a great evening, a great night, and we'll talk to y'all soon, and stay magnificent.